Welcome back, everybody, to the Pokemon SoulSilver playthrough. This is part 42, and we are still in Saffron City. And we're going to be moving on through Saffron City, through all sorts of crazy landmarks, the first of which is Mr. Psychic. And he doesn't want you to call him Uncle Psychic, which is, I believe that's a quote. Anyway, that unimportant information aside, we got something semi-important, or at least I would say it's critically important in my book. We got TM29 Psychic. And I say it's critically important because I absolutely, positively, 100% want Espionage to have this. It's an absolute killer of an attack. What a powerful attack this is, especially in the hands of a very capable, powerful psychic type like Espionage. Yeah, I went there. Alright. So we're running around and Blah is flopping around behind, but apparently not for long because we got Espionage, who's going to be trotting behind. Espionage, how do you feel about this? Very happy. I would assume that Espionage would be very happy to have just learned a very powerful, devastating psychic attack. The Silphco. Oh, how I remember battling on top of you in Super Smash Bros. 64. Those are good times. Alrighty then. I love that big spinning S statue. That looks so awesome. Look at that. S symbol for the broken elevator? What the? Oh, I see. With the electricity. Alright, fancy upgrade. Well now, that's something very fancy. If you have that held, or have Porygon holding that and then trade it, it will evolve into Porygon 2! Look at that S, it's so awesome. Can't get over that. Alright, so let's move along to the place where the dreams come true. I gotta really stop saying that, because, like, I swear to... I even said that in the last part. That could be any place. Alright, so what do we got here? We got the Magnet Train. Yes, the good old Magnet Train. But then again, if you have Fly, well, you don't really need it. Saffron City, the shining big city. I like that. The Fighting Dojo. Yes, of course, this is where there's nobody home. And there's stuff on the floor. Espionage, what the... Oh, I was surprised that you weren't talking to me. I see. He's in a cave in Johto. He must have known that I was coming and ran away like a little girl. Ha ha. What do we got here? The Saffron City Gym. Of course. Of course. This is where... Well, this is where serious stuff happens, I would say. Oh, I shouldn't be told how to deal with... Oh, good luck. Yeah, bye. Yeah, you know, it's pretty much at this point where they really just get lazy with that guy, and just, he actually just does not help you at all anymore. It's actually kind of upsetting, because I like that guy. He's neat, you know, his fancy sunglasses, and you don't know who he is, and all that sort of crazy nonsense. Alright, so we're going to be battling the first trainer in the Saffron City Gym. I believe it was a medium, who has a Bronzor, but we've already seen one of these on the ship, so we're going to be super speeding through that. And she also has a Hypno. First Hypno of the playthrough. Alright, well, go ahead and do that forewarn thing and be completely useless. Alright then. So I think, yeah, we pretty much got this one wrapped up. You know, Espionage, got Shadow Ball, and Skill Swap. What kind of nonsense is this? Okay then. Okay. Well, thank you for giving me forewarn. Now I know about one of your attacks. Jerk. Alrighty then, so that's it for that Hypno. Crazy talk. You know, I've had this written down for just ages, and I've been meaning to say this for the longest time. It's not something really important. It's just just a memory. I remember this one time I made up a Pokemon that was like a penguin. Alright. I took the idea from, I think it was the show Reboot. I really don't think it was now because I sort of looked it up and it didn't have that. I'm not sure though. At the end of the credits of one of the shows, it was probably like on the Toonami block or before it. One of the production companies had a penguin for a logo. And I was playing Pokemon at my friend's house while we were watching said show. And I looked at it and I saw it. And then I looked back at it, like my Game Boy, and I was like, wow, what is this? A penguin Pokemon? And then, like, my friend, like, practically jumped over, and he was like, what? What are you talking about? What? Where? I was like, oh, I was just kidding. I know, I'm a jerk sometimes. But he wasn't really mad about it. We played practical jokes on each other all the friggin' time. Alright, So taking care of that Psychic, and I believe he had, what, a Kadabra and a Girafarig? Yeah, making short work of them. Now, if you didn't know somehow, this fancy gym's maze-like puzzle thingy is, well, you have to figure out which of the steppy, teleporty thingies that you have to step on to make your way to Sabrina. But in my case, I'm trying to figure out which steppy, glowy, teleporty thingies I need to get to every single one of the trainers. Because, well, I want to take them out first, you know, gotta get as much EXP as I possibly can. Because if I didn't, I wouldn't be a very good trainer now, would I? Ah, there we go. There's the third trainer. Another Psychic. Okay. I love that. Oh, the fighting dojo was once next door. We don't care about it, though, because we own them. Alright, so he's got himself fancy Mr. Mime. I don't really much care for it, because after that last Mr. Mime on the ship, I don't want to see anymore. Alright, so more shoutouts. Mr. Spanny, the random, says my favorite Pokemon memory would likely be when playing Pokemon Yellow, I was able to beat Brock using only Pikachu, which was very tough. Had to get it to level 18, I believe. Holy crap, for the first gym, level 18. Where it started using Slam and was able to beat Brock with just Slam. Imagine my excitement and then stupidity when I found out a Mankey or a Nidorino/Nidorina could have been sufficient as well. Yeah, because I believe Mankey gets Karate Chop and Nidorino or Nidorino get Double Kick. Two fighting types. Attacks that are super effective against rock types. Now you know. And knowing is half the battle! Alright, so here we go with another medium. This is the fourth and final trainer of the gym. And he's got herself, she's got herself a Slowpoke. Look at Slowpoke with that derpy face. Oh, just taking it out in one hit. And here's my bro, the slow bro. He's using Yawn, but you know what? We're not dealing with that. We're just going to take him out. Alright. Although I read you, I still lost. Yeah, we'll see, that's because my power is far beyond yours. And a fancy time skippery / move, because I went back to the Pokemon Center and healed just very quickly. I didn't really have to leave that in because, well, it's not very important and it would have just wasted time. So now, we're up to this crazy pedestal, and Sabrina is at the very top of it. And although she doesn't enjoy battling, kind of trainer is she? She's going to have to because she is a gym leader. And she's got, wow, look at Sabrina's new look. That's just awesome. Wow. It looks a lot better than that weird, I'm just gonna call it the S&M clothes that she had with the whip. I mean, what the crap? That's just the weird, it was the weirdest outfit, I'm telling you. Now she actually looks like a normal person with gigantic glowing metal bracelets. What's up with those? Like, does it even explain what those are? I mean, I don't even know. I think it says it on Bulbapedia, but you know what? I don't have Firefox open and I cannot be asked. So sorry. So we're gonna have, wow, completely missing this. Gym leader battle! Saffron City gym leader battle with Sabrina! Wow. Contra going to nail her Espeon, which is certainly not as awesome as Espionage, with Payback! Because Payback's a, well, it's a guy with a fancy top hat and a monocle. And a nice mustache, too. Anyway. So she's gonna, yeah, I figured she was gonna full restore, but I said, you know what, screw that, I might as well just nail him again with Payback. Now, I was a bit confused about Payback, because I was under the impression that if you get hit in the same turn that you use Payback, it was double damage, but for some reason, it's not. And I think maybe I'm just reading it wrong or something. Anyway, using Protect, making sure that, yeah, he was definitely going to hit me. So I'm going to switch out very quickly to, there's many choices here. Blah! Blah, the Shocking Tank. And the Shocking Tank is here to kick some Espeon butt and possibly even chew bubblegum, but doesn't really have, does it have teeth? Oh my god, that was a little bit too strong. Oh my goodness. Didn't it use Calm Mind like once or twice or something? That's probably why it did so much friggin' damage. Wow, just wow. Alright, so gonna switch out very quickly to Citizen Zap. Gonna try to make something happen here. Perfect! The Quick Claw kicks in. Yeah, it would have, you know, now that I think about it, it would have been a much better idea to just switch out to Citizen Zap from the get-go. Whoops. So sorry, blah. Buh. Well, I feel like a complete moron now. Well, regardless of that, we're moving on to Espionage. Gonna try to show Espionage's muscle here against Mr. Mime. Yeah. Alright then. Another shout out. Ocean Oasis Sea Sky says, I remember getting Pokemon Emerald when I got the original DS. It was one of the greatest things I had played then. I immediately chose Mudkip, haha, someone like Mudkips, as my starter for no reason apart from the fact that it was blue. It usually had a spotlight with a Wingull so that they could both be sea related. Ocean Oasis Sea Sky. Sea related. Yeah, you know, I'm definitely seeing a pattern here. That other guy named T. Prower, he had a Pokemon named Miles. You know, I like that when people do that, you know, with the whole theme. You know, I love that, okay? I'm not even gonna beat around the bush here. I love that because it reminds me of, well, I mean, this has absolutely nothing to do with Pokemon. It reminds me of Yu-Gi-Oh! And having a theme deck, you know? With, like, monsters that do, like, a certain thing, like, I don't know, like they're under a certain level, or they all can attack the enemy direct, or your opponent directly, or they burn their life points, or they make them draw cards, you know, that sort of thing. I love that. Anyway, now I'm just going off on a rant here. Alright, so we're gonna try to save, Contra? Yeah, that was the funny thing. This was not my idea for this to turn out this way. I honestly thought that I was going to have Espionage just sweep her Pokemon. But in the end, it turned out that Contra was actually the one who was pulling the weight. It happened. It just happened like that, and I just said, you know what? I'm not going to mess with a good thing. Contra is definitely showing her stuff. Payback time. Pia! A bit strange. Payback for you. Ah, almost. Come on, just take him out. One more hit. If I could just take him out with just a little tiny bit of HP left, don't you dare use a full restore. Yes. Come on, Contra, you can totally tank this psychic attack. Perfect. Payback. Nail him. Pa ha ha. That's it. Oh, and now it's a critical hit. Yeah, thanks. God, I hate when that happens. When you're certain to win with the next hit and it happens to be a critical. Why couldn't it be a critical before? Alright, so we're moving on and we're going to switch to... She got herself a fancy Alakazam. We're going to switch to Citizen Zap. Citizen Swap, apparently. Alrighty then. Oh, God, level 55. Yeah, this definitely isn't her best Pokemon. What will happen after this? I already know. Oh, okay, so then you know that I'm going to win. Alright, cool. Thunder Wave! And I realized at this point I could have been using Thunder Wave this whole time, but then again, she has full restores. So, that would have healed the paralysis. Skill Swap again? What is with Skill Swap? Like, why? It's not even that great. Meh. I mean, unless somebody has, like, a really good ability, but still. You know, I don't even know what ability Alakazam has, so... You know, I think I even looked one time, and I looked in the summary, but his skill wasn't, or her skill wasn't changed, so screw it. Oh, perfect. Yes, it's paralyzed, and I believe I'm going to use this turn to revive Espionage. Very good. And in the meantime, let's get to another fancy shout-out. Cool Medina, 10. Says, I remember for my 7th birthday, Ruby was brand new, and we were going on vacation. I never even cared or even noticed Disney World until I got creamed, I'm going to assume that's creamed by May, and my mother, and my brother laughed that I picked Trico instead of Mudkip, which was his favorite. Oh, somebody else likes Mudkips. I never heard the end of it until the end of our trip. My favorite Pokemon is Luxio, :D. I just like it because it's amazing and it looks cool. Alright, so back to the busyness at hand. We're going to be trying to take down this Alakazam once again. Nailing it with a very solid payback. That was a gosh darn good hit, but unfortunately it has a citrus berry. I hate how they stall these things. Alright then, fine. You know what? We're just gonna pay back again. Take that. And no, that didn't quite do it. Well, there's a future I saw wrong. No, it was right. You definitely saw me win. Damn it. You and your full restores. Lady, you are gonna pay for this. Ah, get him. Get him, Contra. You can do it. Ah. Yeah, this is taking a tad longer than I would have hoped. But just a couple of more hits, and Contra is sure to win. Oh, my goodness. That was a bit close. Another payback. Can we get a critical hit? A miracle crit? No, of course not. Darn you lucky crits. You're not very lucky, are you? Psychic. Oh, my God, no! Why? So close. Espionage. This is a sign. Espionage. You are the one. You were the one all along to take down Sabrina. What in the world's energy ball? That looked like a weird greenish acidy ball. That was a terrible hit. Die, you. Haha. Victory is ours. Ah. That was one heck of a painful, very, very difficult battle. Because her Pokemon were like 7 levels higher than mine. Wow, that was just epically awesome. Alrighty then. Yeah, see, here's the problem. Nobody can predict the future, lady. And we got our second Kanto badge. That means my power is beyond psychic ability. I like that. I like that a lot. Alrighty then. Oh, skill swap. Meh. Yeah, well, thanks a lot, I guess. Whatever. Okay. Smashed my psychic. To love is perhaps some sort of psychic ability. Alright. Well, hey, I can dig that, you know? Calling me psychic and whatnot. That's my favorite type. Alrighty. So out of the gym we go and back into Saffron City. And let's go ahead and read another fancy shout out while we're running around like a crazy person. Master Ultra Ball says my favorite memory of Pokemon is finally beating Gary Oak on Fire Red. Oh, and beating my mom's Mewtwo. I like Pachirisu and Minccino. Now, I had to leave that in because, well, I mean, it doesn't exactly follow the format that I was hoping, you know, for favorite memories and whatnot. But I had to leave that in because it was just interesting to see beating my mom's Mewtwo. Imagine, like, I cannot fathom somebody's mom who actually got into the game so much that she had such a powerful Pokemon like Mewtwo. That's just insane. Wow, just imagine. Does anybody else have a mom that's like that? Because, you know, truth be told, my mom was not like that. She's terrible at video games. So to read that, it's very interesting to me. And aside from Contra being happy, we're going to do a very brief, small switch out. We're going to be having Spike75 replace Espionage. And we're going to be taking Espionage's Amulet Coin for the moment. And that being said, we are now moving on out. I love how I moved out of the Pokemon Center to see what Contra had to say and then come back in to do this. Insane. Alright, so Spike75 is going to be holding the Amulet Coin as she did before. And we're moving on out of Saffron City. And yeah, there goes another crazy time skip. And now Spike75 is in the lead here. The accident, I heard something about it. Crazy. But yeah, once again, I went to that one place that I mentioned before that, you know, I did a crazy weird time skip. Now, the thing was, I went to the copycat's house, and I was told that there was supposed to be some sort of side quest, but then I read that it happens later, so I don't really know when this happens, so I'm gonna have to just come back later. Whatever. Anyway, a notice. Uncouth trainers. Very interesting word. I see. Alright. So, oh, okay, so, yeah. That's kind of depressing. You know, now you can never go through there ever again. Stupid trainers ruining everything for everybody. God, trainers are just the worst kind of person. I mean, who do they think they are, catching Pokemon in little tiny balls and keeping them captive and making them fight? Terrible. Anywho's. Alright, so it will become a frog Pokemon someday. I sat there and I was like, wait a minute, what does he think? Poliwrath evolves again or something? And it made me immediately flash back to, oh, hey, a TM. To the first generation on Cinnabar Island, that place where you trade a something, or a Raichu for his something. And then when you talk to him later, he goes, oh, that Raichu you gave me went and evolved. And then I learned, like, a long time later, that it was actually a translation area. You were originally meant to trade a different Pokemon that actually does evolve instead of Raichu. But they decided, hey, let's do Raichu instead. Let's not change the text or anything. Let's just change the Pokemon instead. Great idea. Yeah, no, not such a great idea, I have to say. Because it just fueled tons of rumors that, like, Raichu had an evolution, and that evolution was Pika-Blue. And then people found pictures of Pika-Blue on the internet before Gold and Silver came to English-speaking countries and said, of Meryl, sorry, and said, oh, look, it's Pika-Blue. I know I went through this story already, but still, it's fun. And we were up on the roof. I love these 3D bits that they do. You know, they really... A terrifying... I'm not coming back here. You're a weirdo. Get away from me. You know, they absolutely went nuts with the 3D and black and white. But here, you know, I like it. You know, I like the running animation. I don't know. It looks kind of neat. How the feet go like up, down, up, down. Anyways, all right. So we're going back on down, and of course we were in the Celadon condominiums, which I believe originally you could talk to the people that work in Game Freak. Right, that was it. You can talk to the Game Freak employees. That was so neat. Now they don't have that anymore, so it's not as neat. Alright then, so that being said, we are winding down on time. Spikes85, what do you have for me? Give me that item. I demand you to give me the item. Another yellow flower. Alrighty then. Thank you, Spikes75. And whoa, okay, calm down there. You're gonna hurt somebody. You're gonna poke somebody's eye out. You have razor sharp wings, for God's sakes. Don't be spinning around. That's it for this part of the Pokemon SoulSilver playthrough. Join me in part 43. Where hopefully Spikes85 will settle down. Settle down, you! Settle down, I say! Alrighty then. See you all next time. Crazy Spikes85.